everybody. Welcome to the Parageeks 2025. We're starting all over. We're getting the new crew going. Unfortunately, RPG is sick and he is in bed, and Mark is traveling. So you got me, but I got a great guest tonight. We've got Harley Owens. Actually, we've got Harley Butter Pickles Owens on the show tonight. And we always try to be very forward thinking when we do stuff. And if anybody knows what the Parageeks is all about, we work in the whole world of paranormal, whether it's ghosts, whether it's Bigfoot or cryptids, it's UFOs and all this stuff. And so we're going to cover everything. And our goal is to prove everything is legitimate. And I couldn't ask for a better first guest coming out of the gate is Harley Butter Pickles Owens. And there's a story, and we will get to that story, I'm telling you right now, right? So I tell you, I've been in TV for almost 45 years, and I met Harley about a year ago. I think it was about a year ago, wasn't it, Harley?
Yeah. Yeah, it was about a year ago, yeah.
Yeah, I think the first time we met you was the first Bigfoot event in Gatlinburg. Is that right? Yeah, that's right.
That was it.
Okay, so and everybody kept telling me, dude, you got to talk to Harley because he's this new up and coming cat. He's jumped into it, and you didn't just jump into it. You didn't put your toe in it. You went neck deep into this the Bigfoot world, and so. Let's tell everybody home. Let's first of all tell everybody home who you are and what you do, and let's talk about the Facebook pages that you have.
All right, yeah, absolutely. My name is Harley Owens. I am 25 years old. I am from East Tennessee. I'm a power lineman. I work on the power lines. I hit the door running with all this. You know, I was a skeptic, non-believer in this stuff, and lo and behold, here I am now 3 years after my first encounter, and I have hit the ground running. I didn't know what I was doing whenever I started doing this. I'm very thankful for my wife for all the support, you know, and my girls, and they love seeing all the pictures and the footprints that I show them and everything. They're always like, oh, the Bigfoot, yeah, the monkeys, and I'm like, yeah. So it's definitely changed my view of the world, much less learning that there's other things in these mountains besides Bigfoot. I'm talking about Dogman and all these other unknown entities, creatures, whatever you want to call them, beings. My first experience really humbled me real quick because, you know, I always thought it was just a bunch of bull crap, honestly. And I got a picture of that Bigfoot. I found footprints, and I also recorded 3 sets of vocalizations. So it was very eye-opening for me. And, you know, my Facebook group, I just hit 6,000 members in there.
Yeah, I was seeing that. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's all about quality over quantity for me. So I'm just super thankful for each and everybody in that group. And I'm going to give a shout out to all those people, all 6,000 of them. It's just awesome to be a part of it. And, you know, I didn't expect it to really take off in the first year with like what it did, because the first year it was over 1,000 members, and it actually got up to 4,800, and then it slowed off, but now it's starting to pick back up again. So I'm just so blessed to create a good community on there and kind of keep the trolls away. I mean, we all have trolls every now and then with what we do. It don't matter what it is. So that's just the biggest thing with life.
So Harley, what was the turning point? What was that moment that went, you know what, I'm going to get into the Bigfoot world? Because, you know, you just don't wake up. Well, I mean, some people wake up in the morning and go, you know what, I'm going to go look for Bigfoot. But there's always something that sparked it.
Oh yeah. It was 3 years of not hunting and fishing for me, because after that first experience, I just stopped hunting and fishing completely. I just shut it out. I didn't hit the woods for over 3 years. And Thanksgiving of 2023, I went back out deer hunting because it was consuming me, you know, and much less, I didn't start talking about my first encounter until August of 23. So, right. I mean, it was a hard ordeal for me to get through. And my wife was like, yeah.
So were you hunting and then it
Oh,
happened?
no. I was working.
So you worked the power lines, and so that which
Well,
means
no, well, I wasn't working with the power lines then.
oh, okay,
As soon as when I graduated high school, my dad wanted me to go to lineman school. Well, I
right,
wanted to be different from dad,
of
and
course,
so I went to work with my parents' neighbors that owned an auction company named Tri-State Auction and Realty. And
okay,
what we went worked from sawmills, auctioning off sawmills,
gotcha,
all the equipment and stuff like that. So it was a little rinky-dink sawmill out in the middle of Pound, Virginia. There's a state penitentiary like half the mile to a mile down the road from that place. So I
oh
mean,
my, yeah,
it was pretty wild, man. I mean, it's to see that thing up on that cliff face looking back at me. I mean, I knew it wasn't a bear. Like I grew up hunting and fishing. I know turkeys, deer, elk. I mean, bear.
yeah,
I mean, it wasn't anything natural. And
right,
looking back at it now, it's like that thing wanted me to see it, because like if I had never seen it, I probably wouldn't even be where I'm at today because
right,
it made a noise to get my attention to look at it.
really. So
Yeah,
it made sure you saw it.
it made a growlish grunt, and it was walking along this rock wall, the top of your rock wall, and there's a bunch of brush up there. It was walking along through there, and it made another growlish grunt, and I could see it still walking through the brush. And then what the funny thing was, I went to my cooler to get a peanut butter sandwich and a Coca-Cola out of my cooler, and I pulled them out, and I was sitting there, and I looked down, I looked back up, I looked down, I looked back up again, and it was leaning out. It was doing the classic peekaboo that they always do, and I was like, oh my God, this is a Bigfoot. These things are real. People aren't crazy. And the only thing I knew of to do was to take a picture of the darn thing, because as sure as I tried to take a video, it would have walked away. So
Yeah,
I pulled out my phone and took a picture. I had a brand new iPhone 8 Plus at the time, and it just mysteriously shut off, and I was like, oh my gosh. And
yeah,
I'm sitting here locking eyes with this thing, like it could have came down that rock wall if it wanted to and got me. And I'm just sitting there, and I'm like, okay, all right, just go on. And it just walked on up the ridge, and I'm like, I hopped in the truck, I locked the doors, I had the windows cracked, and I'm like, I'm not calling my dad's neighbors and letting them know that I just seen a Bigfoot. That was the last thing on my mind.
right.
And
So
so I'm sitting there, and I'm trying to get the phone to come back on, and it finally comes back on, and lo and behold, there's the picture.
so it held the picture.
Yeah, it did.
Wow. Okay, so now when you said it rattled you, did it rattle you to the point where you've never been back to that spot, or
Oh yeah, I've not been back there in 5 years.
why? I'm going to ask the question.
I
Why? Do
I
you
don't
want me
know,
to go with you and hold your hand? I'll go with you now. Come on.
Well, it ain't just that. I don't know who owns that property now. I don't know if they auctioned the land off. I don't know if the state has it or what, but
Gotcha.
there's two big gates that you have to have a key to unlock.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, and there's no way
Yeah.
in other way other than.
Yep.
Okay, so then you
Yep.
said, if I'm correct, that you didn't go out for how many years?
It was 3 years.
Wow.
I didn't go hunt it. I didn't hunt the fall of 2020. I went back hunting Thanksgiving of 2023.
Man.
And I was like, you know what? I can do this. I can go out and look for these things, and I've got a lot more than what I bargained for.
Right. Well, so a theory that I've read is that if they want you to see them, they will let you see them. It's almost like they're on a frequency that you're on, right? That
Yes,
you can,
absolutely.
It's not like you're walking around, Mr. I've got frequencies coming on my head, but it's like a dog. And I don't mean to say he's like a dog, but it's like a dog. A dog knows a good person versus a bad person immediately.
Absolutely correct.
Right?
Absolutely
So,
correct. Yes.
and some people think, oh, well, it's just a dog's sixth sense or whatever. But I think it's frequency, and I think we all have certain frequencies, right?
Yes, absolutely.
So once you started going back out hunting, were you a little more vigilant at that time?
I was that day on Thanksgiving. I was very, very vigilant because I did not know what I was going to get myself into. And here I am now. I've only been back hunting once since I started doing the research, and it was turkey hunting when I showed you the Dogman photographs that I got.
Yes.
So yeah, that was that was really the only other time that I've been out hunting, so to speak. I haven't really been. I've just been doing the research and the hiking and just putting a lot of boots on the ground research.
And that photo shoot, those photos you showed me, you thought there was one.
Yeah.
We looked at it and got really in, and there was multiple.
Yeah.
That's what we're seeing, right? So, okay. So, have you seen anything? Have you seen anything where you live now? Because you moved, right? Are you still?
I have not moved yet.
Okay, so
we're
you're
moving at the beginning of June.
Okay, so, have you gone? So I'm okay. Before I say that, since you're a lineman, do you do lineman in city, rural, or rural?
Either or. This
Okay.
depends on where the contract's at. Yeah.
So do you ever find yourself out there? You're up there on the big lines, the whole 9 yards, and you keep going.
Oh yeah, all the time. All the time. I keep an eye out. I do. And all the guys are like, "What are you doing?" Nothing, because I don't really talk about it at work, because I don't really talk about it. I don't know if they've had experiences or not, because it's a lineman job. That's a high risk job. I don't want to be made to look like the crazy person. But
So we've got the pictures that you showed.
Yes.
And let's take a look at those real quick. My guy will put them up for us. So
whoa, that ain't mine.
that ain't yours?
That's Kathy. No,
that's Kathy. Okay,
Western.
so we'll pull that back.
Oh, speaking of Kathy, hang on a second. Speaking of Kathy, we'll give a shout out to Kathy. This is
look
a
at
handprint.
that.
That's a handprint that Kathy casted
Oh my.
down there in Ocala.
So I did not get those pictures. I am so sorry. I thought I did. That is my bad. We will
I
show
sent it
those
to
later.
your number.
Yeah, and that's what I'm looking for now.
Oh.
Is but we're in the middle of the show, so I really can't go pull them up.
Yeah.
Well, there's a footprint.
That's a little tiny juvenile track that me and my wife found the day after Townsend.
Oh, really?
He wasn't no bigger than my thumb, John.
Wow.
They ain't born 8 feet tall.
No, they're not. They got to be little. At some point in time, they got to be tiny, right? Let me see if oh, there you are, Butter Pickle. I found you. Sorry, dude.
That's okay. It's all right. It is what it is.
I'm gonna download these on my phone and I'm gonna send them to them real quick. But we did see when we got into the images that we saw, and even there at the event this year, I'm like going, bro, there's more than just oh, there we go. I'm going to send these to him real quick. There's more than one there. And then I started looking here. I'm like, I swear I think there's 3, maybe a 4th one. I don't know.
That's how the Dogmen operate. They operate in packs, I mean, they just like the Bigfoot. There's always more than one.
Right. So, okay. So you're from I'm glad I got you on here. So you're from the Appalachians, right?
Yes.
So you understand the rules.
You don't whistle in the woods.
Yeah, you lock your door, you leave your light on, you close your windows.
Close your blinds.
Close your blinds. If you hear your name, you do not answer. You just stay on the path, right? And you don't whistle.
Yep. Yeah, that's a big no-no.
I'm going to ask you this, and don't lie to me now. Have you ever gone out there and said, well, you know what? I'm going to whistle.
I have not. I do it during the day, but I don't do it at night.
But I tell you what, because, I'm the guy that pokes that bear.
Well, that's me too.
I will go. I have no problem going out there. I will whistle, and I will go in the woods at dark. I've actually been in the Appalachians at dark. So, and I've been in the Ozarks in the dark too. So it's not like, but again, so we got the images up real quick. We're going to show these. So, so that one right there
that's the original image.
Right. That's show me let's show the close-up ones because they're better. There we go. See right there, and then there's another one, and then there's another one.
But that's actually the same. That's the same. That's just a bubble zoomed in of it.
Yeah.
The other one is to to the up and left of
Up
that
to the
one. And then
left,
you said there were, yeah,
and then there's another one
yeah,
over to the right
yeah.
that
So
you can see,
that
but you
was,
only see a little bit of its face.
yeah, that was the big one though. That was the one that me and my stepdaughter's dad had heard walking behind us.
Right.
So I mean, that tree right there that's fallen, I had to reach up and pull myself up from that bottom
Right.
branch that's coming across
Right.
like this.
Yep.
So I'm 6'6". I'm a big old boy, and I can reach at least 8 feet. So that just gives context on how big this
How
thing
big
is.
they were.
So that's
Other than Bigfoot, other than our Sasquatch guy, right? What
yeah.
are the other cryptids that are in the Appalachians? Because I know you have the Dogman,
Dog's man, Wampus cat.
the Wampus cat, right? Which
Yeah,
is,
the big black panthers.
yeah. So
Then there's reptilians. Reptilians are starting to be a thing now. I've noticed that. I've been capturing some of them on my back trail camera,
right.
which a lot of researchers are missing out on if they're not using the back trail camera and recording behind them. Because when like it was July 24th of last year, it was just a couple days before Gatlinburg, I went out and I found a 3-toed track. Well, all of a sudden I start hearing this clicking noise like what the predator makes. So I'm like, well, this is weird. And, I'm sitting here, I'm looking at this 3-toed footprint. I'm thinking, I mean, it could have been a handprint, but I'm sitting there and I'm procrastinating. And I'm like, well, I don't know what leaves this. And I kept hearing this clicking noise. And I get home and I get to looking back through the footage and I'm sitting there and I'm like, well, what the crap is that? And my wife says it's a dinosaur, but I don't know what it is. It looks like a gray, honestly. If you see a picture of what they call the grays, that's what this thing looks like. Like its head comes out, but it doesn't go up. Like it's just got a real wide head and it's got a real narrow jawline. Yeah, my wife says it's a dinosaur, so I don't know.
Well, I tell you, so we had this discussion yesterday with a guy that's here local, and he was kind of grilling me. He goes, "Well, what do you really think some of this is?" I said, "Well, I want to believe that it's Bigfoot, which is a in between hominid, in my opinion, right?"
Mm-hmm.
The joke I have that everybody kind of this is my joke. It's not what I believe. It's my joke. I believe that we have been drip fed Bigfoot, starting with Smokey the Bear. Because if you look at Smokey the Bear images, he has fingers.
Oh, dude, that's
so
wild.
it's
You're
kind
right.
of like you got the bear.
A soft disclosure.
Yeah, and it's like, hey, look, we're going to kind of prep you a little bit. And so you don't freak out when you get out in the woods and there's a bear and it's got fingers and it can hold a shovel and it can tell you to don't stop forest fires or don't start forest fires. And so, but anyway, so he was asking me what I said, dude, there is so much in the woods. And now he remembers, because he is from the, I don't know if it's real, I guess it would be kind of the northwest part of Georgia, over in Murray County, right where Big Frog and Windy Gap and all that kind of stuff is. That's where that Tennessee line is. He goes, well, I remember as a kid, they clear cut almost to Blue Ridge back in the back in the 50s and 60s. They just clear cut everything. He goes, what did they do then? I said, they migrate north. They just went more into the Appalachians. I said, there are, and I know this, there are parts of the Ozarks and there's part of the Appalachians that no one's ever set foot in. Ever.
Exactly right.
So
no, never.
No. So to me, it's they're just going to move. And he goes, well, what do they eat? They eat deer, they eat squirrel, they eat rabbit, they eat whatever they can.
They're opportunistic. They're opportunistic. Is what they are.
They're, they don't just eat. I mean, I do believe that they eat vegetation. So
yes.
I think they're pretty smart. So, but anyway, so you got
a lot smarter than we are.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, hide and seek champ for how many years, or actually how many decades? Because I've got family that are Cherokee and Choctaw, and they said they've got oral histories from way back of the Indians knowing exactly who they are, And they dealt with them back then, but they were actually a little more friendly with them than they are
Yeah,
with
they
us.
used to trade with them. They used
Yeah.
to trade with them. And that's like, what went so wrong that they just stopped trading with them? I guess white man showed up.
The white man showed
I
up,
don't know.
screwed it all
Yeah.
up. Damn white
Yeah,
guys.
that's right. Yeah.
So now, and the problem with our worlds, right? And I say our worlds because, again, I want to believe. I believe in UFOs wholeheartedly. As a kid, grew up in, every summer we would either go to my grandfather's, or we would either come to Georgia or we go to Missouri, right? Well, one of the places in Missouri we grew up was Piedmont, Missouri, which is one of the
Oh.
biggest hotspot UFO places in the world. Not, I mean, not, and it's the whole world. I mean, it's huge there, right? So, and I had experience, but we're not talking about my experience. We had a Bigfoot experience when I was about 9, 10 years old in the Ozarks. So the problem with our world is we get all these people online that they're just not good people. Right?
No, they're
You
nasty.
can
They're
you can
nasty.
call them bullies, or I mean, I use the word they're assholes, and they're keyboard warriors, right? They know everything. They can do it, and they call people like you. They call people like me. They call other people. Was it the red circle guy or hunters?
Yeah.
I'm like, it's like, but the thing of it is the good thing about what you and people like yourself that actually, if you deal with me, right? I'm an SME, and I can certify that is a real picture. And those are unexplainable, or those are explainable. And I can say, never been manipulated because I look at the back end data. I can say that stuff. And those pictures you showed me weren't just good old red circles. They were honest to God, true. Those were animals.
Yep.
Dogmen, or even, you can even say baby Bigfoots. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Because they could have been
Well,
either one.
they got canine ears. That one had canine ears.
Yeah, he did.
So, I mean,
So that was, hey, maybe they run in patch. You never know. Maybe the dogmen are the protectors of the Bigfoot.
That's what I've wondered. Like a mutual symbiotic relationship, like we have with dogs. That could be the same principality. I don't think they're enemies like people make them out to be.
No, I don't think so. And a lot of people. So I remember you put a post up a couple weeks ago, and we were talking to you, and this is how Mr. Harley Butter Pickles Owens got his new nickname, and I'm telling you, everybody is picking up on it, and if they're not, I'm going to make sure they are.
They're all going to pick up on it real quick.
So one of the guys fired back, and you said something about, we always bring butter pickles, and I'm like, oh, dude, you just opened the floodgates of your new. You can't see the great thing about nicknames is you can't give yourself the nickname. The rest of us, that's our job. And I'm telling you, when I told RPG that and other people, they're like, oh my God, that is great. So literally, you need to have a shirt. Just call me Butter Pickles. And
I'll get it made, man. I will. I'll get it made. Just call me Butter Pickles. I have a Bigfoot on it. There we go.
Now, so you also are a part of, or you work very closely with another team, correct?
Yes, North Carolina Investigates.
Hey, you got a baby Bigfoot behind you.
Oh, yeah. Say hi, John.
Hi, sure.
Hello.
Yeah, that's my youngest one. Hey, go on and play with Sissy, okay? Daddy's busy.
Love the kids, man. Kids are fun.
Oh, yeah.
So now you work with, is it NCIS or NICS?
NCI, North Carolina.
NCI, that's it. Let's give them a shout out real quick because they're good guys.
Yeah, North Carolina Investigates on Channel 12 TV network. It's Tim Dills, George Lunsford, Rob Epler, and Jerry Millwood, all great guys. They've been out in the woods with me, and George was actually with me when he saw his first Bigfoot, January 7th of last year. So that was awesome to share with him. Because the funny thing was, when he was with me, he's like, "Oh, that's a shadow." I said, "No, George, it's a Bigfoot. I just seen it walking." And then it stepped in behind the tree, and he was barely peeking out at George. I said, "Stand right here. I'm going to walk towards it." Well, John, I didn't step 10, 15 feet, and I stepped on a branch. It sounded like a shotgun going off. This Bigfoot reaches up and braces itself on the tree, and it leans out to look for me because it couldn't see where I was at. Next thing I know, I hear George say, "Oh, shit." He takes off past me, and I'm standing there, and I'm like, well, I guess we're chasing this damn thing. And we get up there to the tree where he was at. You could see three perfect toes and a slight big toe and a slight pinky toe. And
Nice.
where his head was, he was 8.5 feet tall. He like right there where a broken branch was. He was
To the
8.5
top of
feet
his
tall.
head. That
Yep.
is phenomenal. So
Yep.
yeah, I mean, so when you're going to move, are you moving further into the Tennessee woods? Is that where you're? So you get more?
I am
in depth?
moving to Middle Tennessee.
Ooh,
I'm moving. I'm going to be 30 minutes from the LBL.
nice. Now that is a scary place.
Oh, it is it's a terrifying place. I've only been in there once, and it's got a bad vibe about it.
Does it really?
So I'm hesitant about it, but I think if I can do what I'm doing here out there, I think I'll be doing good.
So for all those people out there that are thinking about becoming a Bigfoot hunter, basically, a researcher, tell me 5 items you had to take out with you.
Well, first off, it would be a compass, water, something to shelter in if you get caught out in the elements, something that you can use like a first aid kit, and then if you're in faith, there's nothing wrong with the power of prayer, because it can get you out of a tough situation.
That, I didn't expect the prayer. I figured a flashlight. But you got me there, and I absolutely love that. But I asked for the top item. Now, do you have a go pack in your vehicle? So if you're somewhere, you're like, oh my God, I'm going.
Yeah.
That
I always got my backpack with me. Whether I have any casting material or not, it's hit or miss. Sometimes I have it, sometimes I don't.
So okay, so what is your we've only got a few seconds left. What is your thoughts about 3D scanning versus casting?
3D scanning is going to change the game a little bit, because
Right.
you can take your 3D scan and print it off essentially, so you won't really have to do all the effort into making sure if your casting material is mixed up right or not. So I think it'll revolutionize everything in this.
All right, so Harley Butter Pickles Owens, where does everybody find you?
Facebook, right here, Bigfoot Reports and Data on Facebook, and all other social media platforms. I normally post my other socials in my Facebook group here and there, but yeah, it's super easy to find me. I make it easy for everybody to find me on social media.
That's awesome. Look, if you're going to go to his page, be nice. We're tired of the mean people. Be nice. Hey, Harley, thank you for being on today for Parageeks. And we do appreciate you, and I look forward to seeing you in July. I think we're both going to be up in Gatlinburg. And and if you got other stuff, just let me know, then I'll show up. Hey, everybody, thank you for watching Parageeks 2025, the brand new season. We're going to start it out now. We got some big people coming. We just had one big guy right there. He's a good guy. And, go and watch him and listen to him. He does podcasts the whole 9 yards. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week on Parageeks.